Welcome back to another episode of NewOrleans.Football presented by Loft 18. Make sure you're checking out Loft 18 this weekend for the big game. They have a watch party going on. They got locations in Broussard, Mandeville, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. The Metairie one is the one we were at our last show. Great place to hang out. Got some food, played some games in the Bay, all that stuff. So make sure you're going through there, not just this weekend, but anytime they got trivia nights, UFC, all that stuff. Really, really cool place to hang out. But this weekend in particular for the game, they have kids eat free, $2 canned beers, $25 unlimited draft beer, 2-for-1 wings, half off burgers, and $2 touchdown shots. So make sure you're heading up there for the to watch the game. Got a great show for you guys today, coming to you from the Ochsner Andrew Sports Medicine Institute podcast studio. And of course, if you're looking to buy a new car, there's only one person to buy a car from, and that is Matt Bowers. Swing by one of his dealerships, get your new or pre-owned car of your dreams, get the warranty, tell them NOF sent you, all that stuff. They will take care of you and get you the best price that you can find. Yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about today. Got the game this weekend, where are the Saints going, Hall of Fame stuff, all that, and much, much more. And joined now by my guy, Mike Triplett, for today's show. Our first topic is presented by PJ's Coffee, because we start every single day with PJ's, and you should too. Locations all over New Orleans. They're out in Mobile. They're everywhere. PJ's, get a coffee, get a croissant, whatever you do. Whatever you're fancy, they got you. So we heard from Mickey Loomis at the Senior Bowl, and he talked a little bit about draft strategy, not too much, because, you know, he's always a little bit guarded with that stuff. But there were a couple things that I think you can read between the lines on. And do you get any feel, or do you have any thoughts or any updated thoughts or any opinion, whatever, on how Tyler Shough, you think, approaches their approach, maybe not even just to the draft, but also to free agency?
Well, look, Mickey Loomis did go on with Todd McShay and get asked directly almost that question, like the I'm sure you're not going to tell us your draft board, but you know, since you have Tyler Shough, do your knees change? And he went on about a 3-minute answer about the importance of the offensive line. I don't think that means they're going to take an offensive lineman in round one because they've done that each of the last 2 years. He was pretty unapologetic about that. It does make me think. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but we've said it all along. Maybe get that guard in free agency. But it's funny that he just, like, instead of playing coy, he was like, it's always the most important thing to us, and it's definitely the most important thing to us with Tyler Shough here. So I'll be pretty shocked if they don't address that in free agency, and you like to fill the must then so you can be open going into the draft. But yeah, I think reading between the lines and some of the things that we know and that we've heard, and I think it does. I think it does bring running back, the hot topic in every mock draft right now. Obviously, receiver, possibly tight end, playmaker, anything that can help maximize this most important player they have on the team. I do think it's different than my anti-running back bias that we'll discuss a lot more, that we've discussed in the past, is a lot more when you have a blank slate. When you have a blank slate, I would need to be convinced to start with a running back. Saints don't have a blank slate anymore. Now it's building around the quarterback, the left tackle, and the right tackle that you have in place, and I think that brings playmakers into play. I think it really does.
Anti-running back bias might be an HR violation at a football company. I don't know. Like, I don't know. We're gonna have to check the policy. Maybe we have to update that one. I know someone that's going to hear that and is going to be very happy to hear where this conversation goes from here. I thought, yeah. I mean, look, I stuck to that too, and I thought one of the more interesting things he said in that too, and I think it was in that interview or it was somewhere else, but Mickey talked about how at this point in their careers, the quarterback's young, so it's about getting the offensive line that gives your quarterback a little bit more time, and it allows him to have more time to process and to see the field and to go through things. And, you know, I think when you look at it that way, that just is, and it goes back to what we were saying the other, maybe 2 shows ago when we were talking about team building, and they have a 5-year window here and they use the 5 years to help Tyler. And then on the flip side of it, I think Drew Brees was a great example of that. We'll talk about him a little bit later in the Hall of Fame topic. Should be a Hall of Famer. Who knows what these guys are doing with the voting. But I thought the one thing with Drew, and I think it's just so obvious. Of course, they continue to invest in the offensive line. Of course, they had great players on their offensive line. I'm pretty sure that there were guys that we thought were stars that wouldn't have been stars on another team because Drew Brees was there. Not the superstars. The superstars were the superstars. The Terrans were the Terrans. The Ramcheks were the Ramcheks. But like, there were guys who were like, man, this center, what a low key kind of way to win the Jimmy Graham trade. And it's like, Well, yeah, Drew's throwing the ball in 1.4 seconds.
Yeah.
Like there's no possibility for interior rush. And I think when you're seeing the field faster, and that's where your team goes. You get guys and your quarterback takes good and turns them into great. Right now, you need players to take your good quarterback and turn him into great. And I thought that was a very revealing thing in that interview. And I think it plays out into just all general aspects of this of what helps Tyler Shough the most. And yeah, I think it opens up the board to Jeremiah Love. And I think maybe you know, in a coin flip of a two guys at the same spot, maybe you lean toward the offensive player that can help him a little bit more so than the other. I'm going to dig into what McShay said, because he said teams often go defense after getting their franchise QB. I'd be interested to see the trends on that. I'm going to look into that myself a little bit moving forward. But yeah, I think it just kind of opens you up to more possibility. What helps your quarterback? You don't have to spend on the, you know, there's just, you don't have to worry about value as much too when you have cap space, and that change. They just have a blank slate to really, I think, do best player available. And everybody says best player available. Nobody drafts best player available. I've been on a 10-year rant about this. It's always best player available, ... at a position of need, or ... at a position of high value. I don't think the Saints have to do any of that. They have so many needs, the board's wide open, and they don't have to worry about value because they aren't paying $50 million to a quarterback.
McShay might be right, but it was funny. I immediately started thinking in my mind, and the first thing I thought of was Drake May. They got him a left tackle, and then I thought Joe Burrow. They got him a receiver. So, you know, like I'm curious
Me
what
too.
the trends are, but I think they sometimes give their quarterback the most important thing that he needs. If he doesn't have a left tackle, they get him a left tackle, and if he doesn't have a number one receiver, they get him a number one receiver. What's interesting with the Saints is they technically have a left tackle and a number one receiver. However you want to characterize Chris Olave and what a number one receiver is, but I do think it's wide open. I agree with you. Best player available doesn't always mean best player available, but I think running back's in play. I think safety is in play in this draft class, because that might be the second, third best players in the entire draft. And I do. I think edge rusher is still in play for the Saints. I think this is about as close to it could be any one of 8 positions as we've ever been. But yeah, Ty goes to helping Tyler Shough. I totally agree.
We're ahead of the combine. We're ahead of free agency. So anything saying we're saying right now, like, is subject to change. But you know, we have to analyze how the winds are blowing until they blow
Yeah.
another direction. And the current direction of the winds blowing, I think it's running back. I think it's Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs are best receiver. I think that's what I have circled right now. That's as I construct my cloud and I just try to forecast the weather. That's where I think it's going. It's just my best guess at it right now. And I'd be open to any of those. I think Caleb Downs is a killer. I think Jeremiah Love's a killer. I think Jordan Tyson's unbelievably talented. I think Carnell Tate's really well put together. And I think Mekhi Lemon is going to be a real difference maker. Any one of those 5 at 8, I'm cool with it. All right, moving on to the next one presented by Shawberry Insurance. Saints are keeping their guys. Mike McCarthy tried to rate them. They lost Jari Evans, obviously, assistant offensive line coach. I actually think that's good for Jari, just to
Yeah.
get out and maybe, I don't know, just look like he's standing on his own, or I don't know. It's just kind of like leaving the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feels like he just kind of like stepped out. Tolzien interviewed, decided to stay. Chase Hazlitt interviewed, decided to stay. I think they were both being offered. I mean, Tolzien was for OC, I believe, right? And Hazlitt was like pass game coordinator or something like that. So both of them chose to stay. Like that feels like a win for Kellen Moore. Like he rallied and kept his troops.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you never know for 100% sure. I mean, were they offered the job, they could have taken it, and they chose to stay with the Saints? Did they say, you know, I'd rather focus on staying with the Saints and pursue this? But no matter what, it is a win that people want them, and it's a win that they didn't go. And that's going to continue if they have success. I saw this one stat, and I wish I had looked it up specifically. That someone posted that I think there's only 8 teams in the NFL that are bringing back their head coach and both coordinators, both offensive and defensive coordinator, and the Saints are one of them, which is just crazy, crazy turnover. But that is great. I mean, we are definitely everything we're doing when we're covering the Saints right now is covering a team that is really hitting the ground running in 2026. That doesn't guarantee success, but you know, it's the best way to start an off season.
No, no doubt about that. The Hazlitt one was reported that he chose to stay. I don't know
Yeah.
that the Tolzien one had that language in it, so I guess we don't really know on that one. We'll see. Um, It's interesting though. Like McCarthy, obviously, it makes sense for him to be going after the staff because they have the same DNA.
Well, he actually worked with both those guys, I believe,
Yeah,
didn't he? Yeah.
but Jari didn't. But
Right,
same
right,
DNA.
right.
He's been baptized in it. It's weird to me to go after three guys on one staff. Like
Yeah,
if if you went off and were doing your own thing, and then I came over and tried to raid your staff, like you'd have to kind of look at that like a little bit, like, hmm, that's
yeah,
kind of curious. Like maybe taking one, maybe taking two, but yeah, they came up and I don't know what it is. But is from a distance looking at it, it was like this is a little bit nuts. Like how often does a 6-win team have their staff kind of just completely come after? It does speak well for him. It's good that the former boss liked him. It might be nothing, but maybe I should go get fitted for the new era tinfoil hat right now and put it on because I got the McCarthy conspiracy. But it looks crazy. But maybe it's not. But still, yeah, keeping him's good. I think on topic, Tolzien, I think did a really good job with the quarterbacks. And when when it looked like he might be leaving, I started to wonder what that would do to their construction of the quarterback room. Do you have to go get the vet? Do you have to change up things? Like, does that voice change? So that's a good one to keep, and just to continue that work, I think is a great thing for Tyler Shough. And all I hear is good things about Chase Hazlitt. The players like him. The work seemed obvious. I thought Jawan got better and better as the
yeah, no
season went
question.
along. So I think keeping him is a really, really good thing. He just seems like a very good presence on the staff. Sometimes it's hard to tell who's good, who isn't, but the testimonials that I've heard about him have been all positive, and I think it's just spoken on even further by McCarthy wanting him. So very good thing for Kellen Moore. I feel like a win for him this offseason already.
Two more things on this topic. One, Steelers at Saints this year only happens once every 8 years, so they added a little spice to that. It's kind of a rival now, Kellen Moore versus Mike McCarthy after that. And two, interesting thing on Scott Tolzien. If he had left, would it have changed your calculus at all on the Saints needing a veteran backup quarterback? Or are you cool with Spencer Rattler? Like Tolzien and Kellen Moore, just what are they? The same exact age as Joe Flacco, younger than Joe Flacco. Like they give you whatever that is in the room, or you do want a veteran backup quarterback here, regardless of Tolzien being here.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was just saying. I was like, I wondered if it would change the construction of their roster one way or another, because all that, like, do you have to have that guy in there? Do you need him? I think I might have. I mean, I think I might have. I think you look at it two different ways. Like I think his age is an asset in that role though too, because he's still young enough to relate. He's kind of the bridge. So yeah, I think you would look maybe to do that another type of way.
Yeah, either through staff or through personnel. But I feel pretty comfortable. Like, and I also don't think this is a situation where there's like a tension between Shuck and Rattler that you have to make sure and separate it. I mean, I think it's weird how many teams have like, we got to get Justin Fields out of the building. We just drafted Caleb Williams. We got to get Kenny Pickett out of the building. We're going a different direction. I don't sense that here unless a team like blows you away with an offer that you can't refuse. But I kind of like that being the room, and I feel more comfortable with it when they have the staff that they have.
I like Rattler a lot for the like if I'm the Saints, I want Rattler on my team as my backup quarterback. I think he was a good presence in that. I think he's a good player. I think he can still develop. If there was ever a window down the line where he got a stretch to play games, I think there's a real possibility he could blow you away the next time you see him in there because I think he's going to keep getting better. And he's cheap. So for all those reasons, if I'm the Saints, I want him on there. As me, a watcher of football, I want to see him get traded
Yeah,
just because I want to see him play. I want to see what he can do. Like I think he can do the job. I want to see what he can do somewhere else. I think it just so happens that Tyler Shough is a better option, but I still think that he can be a good player for some team and is a curious football observer. I hope they trade him. Like, and look, if Tyler never got hurt and you do have all this cap space, like the cheap reason isn't a reason really to keep him. You can afford to spend. So if you told me you could trade Rattler for something better than the 5th round pick and it would cost you $3 million in salary or whatever, I would pay $3 million for a 4th round pick. I think if I was the Saints, I would give up $3 million in cap space for that pick. So, I think there's a few aspects to this, but I like him in that role, and I think he's going to be more valuable a year from now than he is now. Like if anyone gets a look at him, so Where you fall on it?
Yeah, I mean, for his own career path. I mean, I think someone else asked me this, and I said, I think you only get the trade value if somebody's really looking at him as a starter or competing for a starting job. A small handful of teams, maybe Pittsburgh if Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back there, Minnesota, Atlanta, looking for a bridge QB or whatever. I don't know how many opportunities there are for a team to be giving you a really valuable draft pick and saying we want him coming in and competing for our starting job right now. But all it takes is for him, for whatever reason, to get that 1 month of showing everyone what he is. I think of Malik Willis and what he did in Green Bay this year. I see that future for Spencer Rattler whenever he gets a chance to show everyone and remind everyone what he is, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like just trying to think through like the scenarios or whatever. The only other one is if someone has seen him and they're convinced that he can be developed into it, and they want to do like the Teddy Bridgewater. We'll give you the comp pick compensation now and develop them and then get it back later.
Good,
but like that would take a very specific spot. Like
Stafford, if you're preparing for life after Stafford, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just like it's a very, very narrow needle to thread. I like the situation where you get it is tough. So yeah. All right, we're gonna hit a quick break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Loft 18, your favorite local sports bar.
The economy's been tough, and entertainment hasn't been as affordable as it once was. We get it. That's why we're changing the whole game with lower menu prices, all new deals, and brand new promotions.
Great service, good vibes, and consistent food. Here at Loft 18, the experience is built around you.
Whether you're an athlete or just trying to stay active, Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute can help get you moving and keep you moving. You'll have access to the highest levels of specialized care, nationally renowned expertise, the latest equipment, and modern facilities, including a convenient walk-in orthopedic clinic when you need care fast. From the field to recovery, Ochsner Andrews Institute is there to help move your healing forward and get you back to what you love. Learn more at ochsner.org/ortho.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Here at NewOrleans.Football, we get every day started with PJs, and you should too. We are proud to be partnered with them. They have the best coffee, the best pastries, and locations all over the city and state. PJ's Coffee, check them out. Get your day started with them. There's a ton of great things about living in New Orleans, but one of the worst things about living in New Orleans is the soaring insurance costs, whether it's your house, your flood, your car. Somebody's always trying to get in your pocket. Somebody's always trying to raise prices. That's why you need a partner like Shough Insurance, the Earhart Agency, to have your back. Every 6 months, I get a call from them. Hey, look, your car insurance is going up. This is what we can do to lower it. Do you want to do it? Yeah, of course I want to do it. Same thing when my home insurance comes up. Hey, do you want to bring this price down? Yes, I want to bring my price down. They're watching it, so I don't have to. Somebody's trying to get deeper in my pockets. They're stopping people from getting deeper into my pockets. You need people like that because it means money in your pockets. So do business with Shough Insurance, the Earhart Agency. Make sure you're looking for the Earhart Agency branch. That's the one we use. They look out for me. I use them long before they ever advertised on this podcast. They save me money. They'll save you money. Tell them I know I've sent you. NewOrleans.Football is proud to be in business with our longtime partners at Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey and Chilton County Peach. When you're out and about in your favorite stores, your favorite bars, your favorite restaurants, look up on the shelf, look for the red bottle, look for the orange bottle, see if there's a Gator on it. If there is, that's your drink. It's going to taste right. It's going to get you right. Look for Hardhide in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football, presented by Loft 18, locations in Metairie, Mandeville, Broussard, and Baton Rouge. Great place to watch a game, great place to get some stuff to eat. They got the watch party going on this weekend. And also, if you're not signed up for NewOrleans.Football, make sure you do that. Go to the site, NewOrleans.Football. It's the best way to support us. It costs $9 a month. Pop in the code NOF. You'll get $7.20 on your first month. Or you can go annual and get that 20% discount on your first payment. It supports the channel, it supports what we do, you get more content, all that stuff. So if you're looking for a way to support us, that is the absolute best way to do it. Our next topic is presented by Rouse's, and we find out this weekend who goes into, or Thursday night actually, who goes into the Hall of Fame. We think Drew Brees is a no-brainer. Before we get into the deeper part of this, I got a take to get off.
All right.
We think Drew Brees is a no-brainer. He should be in there. We're going to talk about which other QBs we think go in, but just setting the stage, like Bill Belichick doesn't get in, Robert Kraft doesn't get in. And I was watching PTI yesterday, and Wilbon and Kornheiser are going on about the process and how the process is flawed and how people vote to keep people alive. And there's a guy on this list that is of that group, Ken Anderson. People don't want him to go to the wayside, and they think he should keep getting a chance or whatever. And everybody keeps blaming the process, but my take on this is yes, the process is screwed up and is flawed and it should be changed, and people shouldn't have these moral quandaries or dilemmas. But I think if you are voting by the letter of the law, it's not like, well, Ken Anderson, damn it, maybe year 41's the year or whatever it is. If you're just like, these are the Hall of Famers this year, these are the best candidates this year, and you vote for them, which I think is what the process is intended to be, and you aren't on the outskirts being like, well, Belichick's get enough votes, so I'm going to keep Ken Anderson alive. I think if you just vote for the Hall of Famers, you get the right class, and there isn't the issue. Where you stand?
100%. I mean, there's so much weirdness going on with Belichick. He because if we talk about this in Drew Brees terms, there's 50 voters, right? My guess is Drew Brees gets 50 votes, but my guess would have also been that Bill Belichick gets 50 votes. So if 11 people didn't vote for Belichick, let's just guess 6 didn't like Spygate, didn't like some of the cheating scandals, didn't like what he's doing at North Carolina. I don't know. Did 6 people think he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer? 5 other people decided I'd rather use my votes on Ken Anderson and Roger Craig because this is their only chance. I don't know what it is, but it's crazy. I don't think you can find 11 reasons not to vote for Drew Brees, but if that at all works into this process, change the process.
The wild thing to me is I think as you sit down and you fill out your ballot, it should just be, okay, who should be in the Hall of Fame, Bill Belichick or Roger Craig? Like, it should be a very simple process. It shouldn't be difficult to figure out who goes in there, who doesn't. That should be how it works. And I'll stand on that soapbox all day long about that. This is, I don't know. It's just dumb to me, man. Like, I get it. Like, I understand where these people are coming from, but that shouldn't be what the process is. It should be a very simple, straightforward process.
I'll tell you what worries. Like, we're gonna find out a lot about. We have a lot of issues with the people in the room, the bartering, the strategy. There should be no strategy. The way I understand this, you need to get 80% of the vote, and only 3 guys got in last year when it used to be 5 automatically every year. I think everyone's going to have Drew Brees on their ballot. I think everyone's going to have Larry Fitzgerald on their ballot or close to it. I think it's possible they're the only 2 that get in with this bad math voting system, because I think the votes are going to get split among everybody else. I'll be curious if there's somehow room for 4 or 5 this year. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they announce. And this year's 3 Hall of Fame nominees are Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, and whoever got in from that Veterans Committee.
Yeah, that's weird too. I mean, like, there probably should be a way to raise the standard. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm like, the list of guys, I'm okay generally with some of them not getting in. Like, I really am.
I get it.
Like, Fitz and Drew are the only ones that I would be up in arms about. Belichick's the only one that I would really be up in arms about. Robert Kraft not getting in is kind of weird when you look at the other owners, and it's like, how isn't he in there? There's a Sean Payton piece of this too, that this is setting a weird standard. I wonder if it affects Brady at all. Like, I don't know if I got that new era tinfoil hat on again, but like, I don't know if that affects him at all. And I don't think it should. I think that Deflategate was, if you were close enough to look at it or you're paying attention to it, was as flimsy as the scandal down here. But so, like, I don't know that using these things as a standard barrier is we should be using it like we use it to judge A-Rod or whatever. And I just don't. I don't know. I don't like it. But let's move on because we can
All
spend
right,
all
so
day.
yeah, if it's harder for if the standard is going to change and like this new system started because Deion Sanders said it was getting too easy. I don't know where you're supposed to draw the line at a Hall of Fame. That is a tougher conversation. I mean, if they want to be the Hall of Fame where Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, and Bill Belichick are the only three who get in, and that's our new standard. You've got to be Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, and Bill Belichick to get in. The bar was getting a little lower. I'm curious. I typed up this list of all the quarterbacks who aren't in yet, and I'm curious where you would draw your line and where I would draw my line. Brady and Aaron Rodgers haven't been up yet. They're in, right?
Last point on this. That's my issue with people pointing to the process because they are voting to lower the bar instead of being like, no, Bill Belichick is the Hall of Famer and this guy isn't. And that's, I just don't understand. Like, we're willing to sacrifice Bill to appease mediocrity. Like, what are we doing here? All right. So our exercise here, which quarterbacks are we putting into the Hall of Fame? And again,
Where's
this one's
our line?
presented.
Yeah, where's our line?
This one's presented by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. The guys that are not in yet, Tom Brady, 50 out of 50, right? Like he should.
Yes. The
Aaron
Hall of Fame
Rodgers.
would have one player in it, and it would be Tom Brady.
Like Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he'd be unanimous because like somebody would be like, I don't like what he says in media or whatever, but like he seems like an easy end. So that brings us to the Eli Manning bar. Where are you at?
Probably should have put him at the bottom of this list because it's the toughest. I mean, you win 2 Super Bowls and he's like 11th all time in yards and touchdowns. So it wasn't like he just had his 2 moments and never did anything else. I mean, he had a whole long career. I did see something about, a lot of his bad play came late in his career. Can you play yourself out of the Hall of Fame? Somebody made that argument for Russell Wilson. I kind of need to know what my Hall of Fame standard is. The current standard of the NFL, I'd probably eventually let him in. The one that let Kurt Warner in, which I didn't hate, I'd let him in. But if we're tightening up the standard, I don't think he's in. I don't think winning 2 Super Bowls automatically owes you anything.
So the most compelling Eli case I ever heard was presented by Nick Wright. And he went through it and he just kind of, the end of the spiel is this one man might have altered how we view greatness in football more than anybody else, because it wasn't just Brady and Belichick he also beat Brett Favre and he also beat Aaron Rodgers on his way there. And what do we think of those guys if they each get one more, or one of them gets one more? Or what do we think of Brady if he gets 2 more, or Belichick gets 2 more? And I think that is a piece of it. He's someone that I would probably, if I was a voter for this and he stays on the ballot, there'd probably be some years where he would meet the cutoff and some years he wouldn't. And
I agree with that.
think he just kind of exists at that place where it's like, all right, I see Eli as the third guy here. I would not be willing to go out in public and be a person campaigning for him. I wouldn't be willing to sit here and be like, yes, he's absolutely. I think he's a fringe player depending on the year where he could get in or not get out. And I think if you can say that about somebody, which is going to bring us to our next guy, maybe they should just fall out. Maybe like the standard for the Hall of Fame, like I would not be against the Hall of Fame where it is Drew Brees and it is Fitz and it is Belichick and everybody else can go home. Like I'm fine with that. Which brings us to Ken Anderson, 1-time MVP, a person people want in the league. I think he made the All-Pro team once, has a couple Pro Bowls, those resume. Led the league in completion percentage for a few times, but when did he retire? 1986. So we're talking 40 years of people saying no to the Hall of Fame. He stays alive. Belichick dies. Like, what are we doing? No.
Well, yeah. I mean, he got his 15 years and then there's a long gap and then you become eligible for the senior committee. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the senior committee in general. I kind of feel like for 15 years, people who watched him and covered his whole career talked about him and didn't put him in, and the standard was a lot lower during those 15 years. So I'm not standing on the table for or against him, but like I've never I remember Sterling Sharp. I grew up with Sterling Sharp. I was cool with them putting him in last year. I just don't have the thing I remember about Ken Anderson is the frostbite in the ear before he played Joe Montana in the Super Bowl. But I haven't spent my entire adult life saying, I can't believe there's a Hall of Fame and Ken Anderson's not in it. So I'll let others decide that, I guess.
If you go through the thing and you don't get in, like that's it. That should be it. Like, there shouldn't be this second life. There shouldn't 40 years later. Come on, man. Like, it's just, I don't get it.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Ben Roethlisberger.
He's in for me. He won more. Did he played in 3 and he won 2. Weirdly, nobody remembers Ben Roethlisberger this way, but he's like 6th all time in passing yards and touchdowns. He had a 5,000-yard season. He reinvented himself a couple times, and I think he led some teams where he was the identity. I mean, like sort of Josh Allen in Buffalo, and a lot more winning seasons than Eli. I have no problem saying yes to Ben Roethlisberger.
I lean no on him, man. Like, I do, and I don't know if I'm wrong on it, but like he played in that era of big numbers, and I just never felt like I think he hit 30 touchdowns once or twice. Like, he just never he didn't match everybody else to me. I thought he was really good. I think he's kind of right there with Eli, and I feel like if I say no on Eli or iffy on Eli, I think I'm probably at the same place. Roethlisberger, no's too strong. I probably go toward the, like, some years he might hit, some years he not. I feel like he's a fringe guy to me. Like, he's not.
They're close. I agree with you that they're very close.
He's not clearly in or clearly out for me. So I shouldn't say no. Like, no's too strong of a response to it. I wouldn't be against him getting in, but again, not a guy I would publicly campaign for getting in. Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I mean, I go Roethlisberger, Eli, Rivers. If I was drafting those 3, I might draft Rivers first. But if you're trying to sift through what makes you a Hall of Famer and what doesn't, I think never appearing in a Super Bowl versus appearing in 3 and winning 2 and winning 2, that's a fair tiebreaker. I don't just say, hey, Terry Bradshaw is better than Drew Brees, Joe Namath is better. I don't automatically say that, but it's a tiebreaker for me that puts Rivers 3rd among that group of 3.
Yeah, great player. Played on some great teams. Incredibly talented. I think technically one of the best we've seen. I also think, much like present day, like, those teams underachieved a little bit too. Just like you said, never got there. So I would probably stack him the same exact way as you. I'm a no. I'm a no there. I think he's below the cutoff. Matthew Stafford, however, I do put in.
Yeah, he got himself in these last few years. He was going to have Phillip Rivers' career until he finally won a Super Bowl late in his career, and now he's going to maybe win his first MVP in his last year. And when they're in the room, he's going to be a guy who had an MVP and a Super Bowl in addition to being, like 6th all time in passing yards. So he wasn't in 5 years ago, and he did it as opposed to Eli and Russell Wilson playing themselves out. He played himself in.
Yeah, I'm not a play to go to your point. Like, I'm kind of thinking about it right now. Like, I'm definitely, you can play yourself in. I don't know that you can play yourself out. I don't know that we should look at things and be like, man, if he had just walked away, he would have been a Hall of Famer. I think as a thinking person, you should be able to draw that line yourself and kind of do it. Like, it's the same thing with music. Like, if somebody tragically passes away after 2 albums, like, we'll be like, he's the greatest ever over this guy who put out 6, but then we see the downside on album 7, 8, and 9, and we're like, no, this guy was better. No, I don't think that's fair. I think we can just draw that line ourselves and be like, this was the best ever in this era, and it kind of fell off a little bit, but we get it. But that quality was there. I don't fault Eli for playing too long or anything like that. Matt Ryan, I'm a no there.
I think I'm a no there too. He's surprisingly, if you took the name off and you showed the numbers and everything, he's surprisingly closer to this group than I would have thought. The same case as Rivers and those guys, but there just weren't enough years where I ever considered him one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league at any time. It's kind of like Jared Goff for me. It's like, you could always pencil him at 8. Baker Mayfield, that's the 8th best quarterback in the league. He obviously had that one incredible year where he won MVP and should have won the Super Bowl, but he's a little short just on my sniff test.
Do you put him above or below Rivers?
I might give him the tiebreaker because he has an MVP and a Super Bowl. If I had to choose one or the other, but my gut says I during those years I always thought Rivers was the better quarterback.
If I had to pick one and I can't get Shanahan with him, I'd probably go Rivers. On that one. Overall, like, I don't know, like, whatever version of us is sitting here doing this in 20 years, they probably go Matt Ryan because the accolades are probably a little bit different. Like, the MVP does mean something, but I think is a close observer, current Nick and Mike, I think I got to go. I think I got to pick Rivers ahead of him. Russell Wilson's a no for me. Joe Flacco's a no for me. I assume you're the same.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Pat Mahomes, who is an absolute. His career can end today.
He's already a yes. Yeah,
he should be a 50 out of 50.
Play himself out. He can't play himself out.
He should be a 50 out of 50, right now today. Like no questions asked. Josh Allen.
He's not there yet. He's done enough to get there eventually, but he can't just fizzle away. Never make a Super Bowl. Play worse now than he's ever played before. He hasn't already cemented it. Like he needs a couple more reminders, I think, before it's all said and done for me. But he's on his way. I'm predicting he will get in.
If he goes his whole career and he's like a top 3 NFL player, he's in for me. I think. I think if his career ended today, he'd be one of those fringe guys. Some yes, some no. I think I'd be fine with him getting in there. But yeah, I think he has to strengthen that resume for sure. Lamar's next. I go yes on Lamar because he has the accolades, but boy, he could strengthen his case too just by winning a little bit more. But I think he's a get-in guy. I think he revolutionized the game. I think he symbolizes a whole era of football, even though I think that era is shifting a little bit right now to a different style. A little bit. The multiple MVPs, best player alive multiple times. He's in for me. But a Super Bowl ring would be the 50 out of 50. I think right now he's probably, he gets the votes first time up, but he could become a 50 out of 50 guy if he wins a ring.
Yeah, he's the same as Josh Allen. Like if something happened, if he got hurt again at the beginning of next season, tried to come back, the next season he got hurt again, and just like never ended up, playing more than 5 games again in any season. I don't know that he's done enough yet to get in. But I predict that he will. I predict that he'll have, one more incredible season, finally get to a Super Bowl or something like that, and make it an easy choice.
I'd vote for him every time right now.
Yeah.
He'd be one of my top 2, I think, damn near every year, just because of what, like he just absolutely broke football. And I think that has to be part of it. And like just I think he Belichick called them Tuesday players. We can call them the oh shit guys. I think he was the guy, like just that you did not want to see. I don't think it needs to be overthought. I think he's a guy and this is going to outrage some people because the next name on the list, Joe Burrow. I think Joe needs to do more. I think Joe is Hall of Fame talent, does not have the Hall of Fame resume. Needs to stay on the field and win a little bit more.
No question. Yeah. I predict he'll get there. I predict Joe Burrow will get there. But he's not there yet, no question.
Yeah, so do I. I easily, maybe one of the most talented names we've said on this whole entire list is, the injuries and not playing and not having accolades and rings and like all that stuff matters. It definitely does. And then last one, Dak Prescott. That's a no for me.
Yeah, he needs to have Matthew Stafford's last 5 years to get in.
Yeah. And he could. Like he's definitely talented enough.
I wouldn't rule it out. Yeah.
No doubt about it. All right. Moving forward into our next topic presented by Hard Hide Punch Full of Strawberry Whiskey. ESPN redrafted the 2025 draft. They had Cam Ward 1, Chuck 2, Dart 3, and Kelvin Banks at 9. Agree or disagree?
I guess I probably do agree. It's so funny. I mean, quarterback is everything, and we talk about it all the time. Like, all you need to do is give someone a reason to take you a quarterback, and I think Shough and Dart probably both did that, and I think the order is right. I mean, it was the Titans reporter who picked Cam Ward again to the Titans. It wasn't like shuffling up the draft order. It was the Titans loved him. The Titans had him. The Titans are keeping him. I kind of agree. If the Titans knew what they knew now, they pick Ward again. I think if you reshuffled the entire draft, the order changed, there's no loyalty to anyone, I still think that's probably the order, but I think 1, 2, 3 is right. I don't know that they'll all pan out and make those the right picks, but you just need enough of a glimpse to be like, could this quarterback be the guy? And I think they all gave at least enough of that. Dart being the obvious question mark there.
So at number 2, they had the reporters doing the draft. So at number 2, the Jacksonville reporter took Tyler Shough.
Well, I think they kept it with Cleveland, didn't they? They didn't make the trade.
They kept it with Cleveland. Case. Oh, they didn't make the trade. Cleveland takes it because they know what Tyler Shough is. They aren't trading. Okay, so that makes sense. So Cleveland goes number 2. Yeah, absolutely. They're taking Shough there. It's kind of what we've said before. I don't know that Tennessee would trade Cam Ward for Shough, and I don't know that the Saints would trade Shough for Cam Ward. I think it depends too also who would be making the pick, where you're at in your career. Like if you have all the information you have today, you know exactly what they are. You're doing it. I think if you are a GM starting out at the beginning of your tenure, you're taking Cam Ward. I think if you are like on year 3 and you're looking for a way to get better fast and you want to lower your risk, I think you take Tyler Shough. And so I think it just kind of really depends where you're at too, and what your psychology is, where you feel like your team's at. If you feel like your team's ready to win kind of quicker, I think you go with Shough. If you're playing a longer game, maybe Cam Ward makes more sense and you have a little more patience and time. But if you're one of these GMs that's starting to run out of patience and time, you've already replaced your coach, you're 2 years into it, and you're still a 6-win team and you don't see a way to 9. I think Shough's a faster path to it, and you would probably go that way with it. So I don't disagree with the order though. I'm not ready to abandon the scouting after 1 year. I mean, Cam Ward, look, we've seen it when they played. Like he looks like he has maybe the ability to become a truly, truly special player. I think a lot has to go right for him to get there. But yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with it. 1, 2, whatever. You can. There's no way to be outraged about it. I seen some people freaking out about Shough going before Dart. Man, like we could be Arizona.Football, we could be Miami.Football, we could be Seattle.Football. I was watching Giants games before Saints games sometimes last year just to do the comparison but I watched them. Like sometimes I was like, hey, I want to see what Dart did today before I see Shough. Some weeks I want to see what Shough did before Dart, just so I had the information. And when I came on here, I wasn't just talking out of my ass or reading the stat sheet. We could be Miami.Football, Seattle.Football, Buffalo.Football, Cleveland.Football. I would think right now today that Tyler Shough had a better season than Jackson Dart. And that's just my take. And maybe I'm a moron, but that's my take. And it's my honest take with putting the work in, and I'm comfortable standing on it. I don't know if that's predictive forever, but today that's how I feel.
I think I'd feel more comfortable building a team around Shough's playing style too. I mean, Dart longevity is a question with Dart. It unfortunately is, and the way he plays, or you're going to eventually have to change some of his greatest strengths to protect himself. So that if you're talking about one season, I think it's closer. If you're talking about who you want to draft, well, although Shough has Dart has the age factor too, so I guess maybe they balance each other. But I feel the same way. But obviously we're a lot, we know a lot more about what works with Tyler Shough, and we've watched Jackson Dart from further afar. But I agree with you with your take on that.
Going through this on 4, they had Will Campbell going 4th, Travis Hunter going 5th, Membu going 6th, Abdul Carter going 7th, T-Mac still at 8, and then Kelvin Banks at 9. The Saints stick with their pick.
So your other options there, the tight ends, both tight ends, Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren, Ashton Genty still at running back, Emeka Buka still at receiver, and then the edge rushers, both of the Falcons edge rushers that they took. You still a Banks guy?
Yeah, I think so. Especially, man, like we know who they got too, So I kind of feel like interesting that the Chargers go Genty over Omari and Hampton. That's the right pick. Whoever made that pick for them, Chris Rim. I agree with that. I agree with that pick. Interesting though that Banks goes 3rd at tackle. I don't know that I would have went that way. I mean, Patriots, I get it. Like they're gonna stick with their guy there. I don't know though. I don't know that I agree with how that falls.
You might go Banks ahead of Membu.
I might go Banks ahead of both of them.
Yeah.
I just watched Will Campbell in the playoffs, man. Like it was rough. It was a little bit rough. Maybe I go Membu first. I'm reluctant to say this because it's a permanent online take and we're in year 1 of these guys, but I might, like, I'm okay with the other 2 in any order. I think I'm Campbell 3rd right now. I just feel like he has the longest way to go. He might still end up being the best one, but if I had to bet on the information I have today, I don't think I could take him going, man. And it's probably, is it fair to judge him off the playoffs where he's going against like some of the best pass rushers and some of the toughest conditions and all that stuff? Probably not, but I saw it and I can't unsee it. I know what I know. I think he's still probably going to be good, but I don't know that I can make that bet.
A win for the Saints scouting. The next offensive tackle I think on this list was Connerly, going all the way up to 16. Didn't you get a gut feeling that Connerly was on the watch list if they couldn't get Banks?
I had a gut feeling that Connor. I had a gut feeling, yes. Just suddenly in my gut, I said Josh Connerly. Yeah, I did that. Yes.
Who do you take? Okay, but let's say Banks goes 8th and you get swooped. Who do you go with? One of the tight ends? You go Genty, you go Ibuka, or you go James Pierce or Connerly?
James Pierce. Ooh, I wasn't thinking about him.
Mason Graham fell to 21 in this. He went like 4. Everybody wanted Mason Graham.
James Pierce is tempting, man. It's so hard for me right now because all I think about is just touchdown getters because they got the quarterback.
Yeah, I like Ibuka over the tight ends. I do. I know he dropped off in the second half of the season, but man, he's the right style of receiver to add to this group. I think I'm an Ibuka guy.
I was gonna go. Probably Ty Warren.
Fair. I'll take that too.
Probably Ty Warren. I mean, that was a guy I really wanted from anyhow. I think tight ends are such a cheat code, especially with how the league's going.
That's harder to find. You can find another Ibuka. It's hard to find another Ty Warren. That was a rare class with him in Loveland.
Ty Warren or man, I think I'm drafting Pierce. I think I'm taking Pierce.
Okay.
Where are you at on the stack? Where's Pierce fall for you?
He's right. I mean, he's, you know me. I have an anti-running back bias and I have a pro pass rusher bias because I think pass rusher is the thing right behind quarterback where you can ruin your franchise trying to find one. Not just because I covered the team that used 2 firsts on Marcus Davenport, but they cost a fortune in free agency. You overdraft them. Like if you can get a good one, then you also stop wasting all your resources trying to find one.
Where did he fall in this?
So they go 16th, I think.
So going forward, it goes Loveland, Ibuka, Tyler Booker. That's kind of the guard. Do you want, like, you could sell me on it? I wouldn't do it before the other guys, but he's somewhere on our stack. Gray's Abel, he's on our stack too.
Yeah.
Ty Warren, and then James Pierce, Connerly, Starks.
So much easier to draft when you know how the players do.
There's probably too many other players, but does Nick Eamon-Mori factor into the conversation for you?
Yeah, speaking of another guy I know the Saints had their eye on. Not at 9, but would have been nice to he's top 20 for sure.
I think we'd be talking about him in the room if we were running the draft, and we have the information we have now. He's definitely coming up somewhere in there. Yeah, I think I got to go Pierce, man. I think I got to go Pierce.
All right. I'm okay with
that.
All
right, let's hit a quick break. We'll be right back. Are you ready to buy your first home, wondering if now's the right time to refinance, or maybe you're thinking about getting into real estate? Whatever play you're trying to run, the pros at MortgageBros.money have the game plan. If you're a first-time buyer, the Mortgage Bros will break down every loan program, help you build a budget that works, and even check if you qualify for 100% financing or down payment assistance. They'll guide you every step of the way, because buying your first home shouldn't feel like a Hail Mary. Heard that rates have dropped and thinking it's time to refi? Don't just guess, get real answers. The Mortgage Bros will review your situation for free and tell you if it's time to make a move or keep waiting for an even better rate. And if you're ready to start investing in real estate, don't let that old 20% down myth stop you. The Bros can show you a home hack that might get you up to 3 doors to rent with little to no money down. Here's the best part. The Mortgage Bros work with you for free. You'll never pay them a penny. They're not bankers, they're brokers. That means if your loan doesn't close, they don't get paid. So they're just as invested in getting you approved as you are. Because let's be honest, signing up for a 30-year loan without a pro on your team is like trying to run the offense without a playbook. You don't need to know every role in the mortgage game. Your pros already do. So go to mortgagebros.money. That's mortgagebros.money, and let the bros be your pros. If you watch our show, you already know the work that RV Masters does. They did our van last offseason. I went up there. I said, hey, look, I need power for 8 or 9 hours. I need AC for 8 or 9 hours, and I need everything I need to run a broadcast from this van. I'm going to drop it off, and I want you to take care of it. And they said, all right, cool. We got you. I went back up a couple weeks later. Job's done. Looks amazing. Works amazing. went through a whole entire season, not a single issue, which is absolutely unbelievable to me. They'll do whatever you need. They dream bigger than you dream, and they can make your wild dreams come to life. They have preventative maintenance. They have service packages for your RVs, your AC, your generators. They specialize in solar and lithium upgrades, satellite TV, and Starlink. If you wreck your vehicle, they'll get you fixed too. Whatever you need, they got you. That's rv-masters.com. They'll get you right. Whether you're a local New Orleanian or a fan in town for the game, get your pre and post game fired up at Aaron Rose. Local chaos and local love for the black and gold. Wake up and live with daily drink specials, mimosas, screwdrivers, Bloody Marys, and hot or frozen Irish coffees, all just $3 or $4 between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Aaron Rose, half a block from Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, 811 Conti Street. Attention football fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com. That's REDDPEST.com. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football presented by Loft 18. Our next topic is brought to you by our friends at Aaron Rose. Garrett Nussmeier, Senior Bowl standout, plays well, looks healthy. His dad's in attendance. How far would he have to fall for you to consider drafting him? And this isn't even necessarily just a Nussmeier thing. It's you have quarterbacks. So
yeah,
like
it's not
the value
because he's family and he's LSU, but I think all of our listeners and our followers know how good he is as a prospect. I mean, he might be a top 3-4 quarterback prospect in this year's class.
He probably is.
Yeah.
So where you where's he sitting? Like, I think that's probably what happened with Spencer Rattler too, is just like, oh my God, this guy's sitting here. Like, we have to draft him. I don't know that it was their plan that they had a target on him, but it's just like, man, this value's insane. Let's get him in the building, develop him, and see what we can do. And maybe he becomes something. Maybe we can flip him. Maybe it allows us to flip Rattler. Where do you fall? What round?
I can't take him in the first 3 rounds for the Saints and their current stat. I mean, they also have Rattler in the building. They not only have Shough, they also have Rattler. So I think I think there are teams who should take him in the first 3 rounds, but for the Saints, I think he has to fall to round 4 before I consider being like, look, the value is too good to pass up. And I don't think he'll fall that far, but it doesn't make sense for the Saints to draft a quarterback because they have to rebuild so many position groups on this team. But that's the cutoff for me. That's where you're like, screw what we need. This guy's falling too far.
4 is where my gut was falling on this one, and that's just like this value's too good to be true. You can't pass it type thing. Like, we don't want this guy, but the value's too good to be true, so you have to take it. I'm still even though you might have gold, I'm still a pan for gold guy. I don't think you stop panning for gold at that position. So yeah, I like round 4, I would take him and think that I could do something with him and maybe flip him, maybe got my backup, maybe, whatever. But I think you continue to look at that position forever. And if there's value that's too good, you have to take it. Like, I think you just do. So that's probably where I would fall on it. And their information on him will be better than anybody else's. They know the injury and all that stuff better than anybody else. So if they were willing to draft him, I would think that they thought that they just had just absolutely ridiculous value.
What's your reaction if they take him at 42? How do you react to that?
Oh, no. Like, just because that's too much. That's too much. What's yours?
The Patriots took Jimmy Garoppolo in the second round. The difference between and the Saints could have considered doing things like that when Drew Brees was 35 or 33 even. Even if the guy was never going to play for you and he's just an emergency plan or a future trade asset. The difference with the Saints now is they are in a stage where last year was great. The draft class was nice, but they are 8 players away from having a foundation. Once you have a foundation, you can be a little more fast and loose, but they need a lot of players.
Yeah, when they took Jimmy, they thought Tom's clock was running out. And Belichick, man, he was asked that I was in that room. Like, they asked him that night, like, hey, like what does this mean for Tom? And Bill's like, we got to think about the future. Like, so I mean, like, that's what it was at that point. So
he didn't know that Tom Brady had cloned himself at the time.
Like 4 times already. So they didn't know. So I think that's a different situation. But yeah, if like Drew at the end of his career, second rounder, like, Mahomes in the first round makes sense. Like, even if you're, hey, look, he might play for 3 more years. If you feel that value's there, like, again, I'm a pan for gold guy, but I think within the parameters,
Yeah.
it's like, you don't draft always the best player available. It's at a positional need of the right value. That's where I'm at on the pan for gold thing. Now that it looks like they have one, like, yes, keep looking at the right spots where there's good value. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.